This is Book 5 in the Shadow Children series. The official summary on the title page says, "In a society that allows families to have only 2 children, a group of thirdborn tries to save themselves and others like them." That feels less like a summary of this book and more like a summary of the series in general.
Argo Font Book Review, Argo Font Book Review.
Because Trey saved Luke's life in the last book, Trey has an undeserved reputation for bravery. The truth is that Trey is a major wimp who's afraid of paper cuts. The only thing he's good at is translating languages. Trey and the other kids have arrived at Mr. Talbot's house in a limo. This is the worst possible timing because it's about 1 minute before a big population police raid. Mr. Talbot and the others are all arrested and sent to a prison camp. Trey tries hiding behind a flower pot. The guard who catches him whispers "Liber," which is Latin for free. It seems to be a password of some sort. When Trey says free, the guard lets Trey go free, reporting that the area is clear. Once the raid is over, Trey has no idea what to do next. He searches the house and meets Mrs. Talbot, who is hiding in a secret room. Mrs. Talbot is too busy dealing with her own issues right now to be of much help. On the TV, there are reports of riots and a government takeover. The new leader of the country is Aldous Krakenar, the former head of the population police. This is very bad news. Krakenar is an extremist who thinks the oppressive government is too nice. He's gonna make it 100 times worse. First thing he does is outlaw selling food unless you have a family member with the police. Mrs. Talbot leaves. Trey hides in the house for a few days until a power outage forces him to look outside. He sees Smits and Luke's brother Mark next door. Trey talks to them. The last they heard, Luke was going back to Grant Mansion. Mark wants to save Luke. He asks Trey to help. I'm not sure why he picked Trey over Smits. Smits lived in the mansion for years. He would be the perfect choice for a rescue mission in the mansion. Krakenar has converted the mansion into a population police building for processing new recruits. Mark is quickly caught and captured when he tries to break through the back. Trey pretends to be one of the hundreds of volunteers who have come to join the police. They give him a uniform and let him inside. Trey panics a little. Instead of going through processing, he hides in the bathroom. He's too afraid to go back out, so he hides in the vent system. He crawls around until he hears the prisoner in the basement will be executed tomorrow. Trey goes to the basement. The prisoner is Mark, who tries to get out of trouble by pretending he's just a dumb country kid who doesn't know what he's doing. This plan doesn't work. Trey tells Mark to shout the Liber password, which kind of works. A suspicious guard promises to help save Mark and the other kids if Trey saves a different prisoner first. Much later, the different prisoner is revealed to be Mr. Talbot, which works out just fine. There was no need for secrecy here. I'm sure Trey would have wanted to save Mr. Talbot, given the opportunity. Trey gets a prison guard uniform and fake authorization papers, which say he can transport certain prisoners. First, he has to get the truck, which is not easy. He's never driven before. Multiple officers give him trouble, and twice he is harassed by a mob of starving people. At the prison camp, Trey fools the warden by pretending to be an overeager recruit. He once read a book with a character like that. The deception goes well until there's an emergency report exposing their plot. Trey rushes to escape with Luke and the other prisoners. They all make it safely to Hendrick's school. After recovering for a bit, the third children all agree they have to infiltrate the population police, even though that means almost certain death. The end. Post-book follow-up? I liked this book. It felt pretty different from the others, since it follows Trey, who is mostly a new, unknown character. It's implied that Trey has autism, or at least his mom yelled something to that effect to his dad. When Dad died unexpectedly, Mom abandoned Trey immediately. Poor Trey. Bravery is a theme of the book, and there's some exploration into different kinds of bravery. Often, Trey thinks he's doing things because he doesn't have a choice, not because he's brave. Does he truly want to help his friends? Or does his concern for saving them stem from his abandonment issues, coupled with his difficulty in making decisions on his own? Mark and Trey make for an interesting contrast since their upbringings and personalities are so different. Trey has extraordinarily good luck with the way he constantly comes across members of the Hidden Resistance. I think there were 5 people who could have turned him in, but didn't. Overall, I would say it's a good addition to a good series. It's almost like a Die Hard movie, with Trey crawling around the enemy headquarters in Event before breaking about 6 people out of a prison camp. Surprisingly action-packed. I give Shadow Children number 5, Among the Brave, a 9 out of 10.